San Juan at 6 p.m. May we rise for invocation, please? Mr. Arjona, can you lead us in invocation?
Dear Father, we gather here today. We thank you for your blessings you have bestowed upon us. As we start tonight's meeting, we ask for your guidance.
Flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated.
Special guest. Before we start, I'd like to open up with the invitation that I placed on your before you. This is for the groundbreaking ceremony that we're going to be having. We've been waiting and excitedly waiting for this day to come. It's no secret now. It's Taco Palenque coming to the city of San Juan, along with Wing Bar and some others that haven't really signed the dotted line yet. But there's some other restaurants coming into San Juan right next to the HEB shops. Everybody's invited to attend our groundbreaking ceremony that is going to be taking place February the 15th, the day after Valentine's, so take the loved ones over. And the time will be at 11:30 a.m. Okay, so this is just the invitation for the groundbreaking.
Perfect.
Along with that, we have presentations on departmental reports. Tonight we have the Department of Finance, Department of Utilities, Police Department, Fire Department, and Municipal Court. But I'd like to take this time to get the Chief to come to the podium and introduce his new officers that are joining us here at the hotel.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commission.
Good
I
afternoon,
wanted
sir.
to take this opportunity to introduce our 5 new officers that are on the road. They've been out on the road for the past 2 weeks. So they are very young officers here. So I would like to introduce, first of all, Officer Raul Baldovino, Officer John Seda. John Seda particularly is coming in from New York, from the Bronx, so originally from over there. So he decided to pick San Juan, not because he was San Juan, Puerto Rico, but he was San Juan, Texas. So Rodolfo Flores, Jesse Maldonado, and Natalie Garza. So I want to welcome them to the city of San Juan. Like I said, they've been here 2 weeks already. They're out on the road. They're getting trained by our field training officers. So the public should expect to see them on the road and patrolling by themselves within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I wanted to introduce the mayor and the commission so they can see them, and also the public can view them, and if they come across them, they know that these are new officers. We should have potentially about 6, 7 more officers in the next couple of weeks. So we should be hitting the road as well. So.
On board.
Okay. Thank you guys for being here, and ladies.
Thank you, sir. Come on board. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You're a Yankee fan? Oh, man. Started off wrong. I'm joking.
That's all I have, boss. Is there any questions on my report here?
Thank you, Chief. And every departmental directors here available. Should you have any questions that is here on the agenda?
I know, I guess this question is for Ms. Enriquez in reference to the amnesty program that we're looking at doing again, right? Question that I have is that, by any chance, do you know the numbers from 2018 to 2019 as far as comparison of the collections? Is that, do you know if, yes, that we've collected in 18 and 19?
$30 with 43 cents, and the month of March, sorry, that was for March, and April was $5,868 with 95 cents. So it was a total for those 2 months, $30,099.38 for those 2 months for the amnesty that we collected. So this year we're having it for 3 months.
3 months. And so, how exactly are you going and reaching out to the citizens that do have pending court costs and fines? Do
Um,
you all send letters? I mean, do you send the warrant officer out there, or?
we send first letters to them,
Mhm.
a late notice or a pre-warrant letter. We send them twice. After the third time, if they don't come in, we do send our warrant officer to knock at their residence, and we do also make phone calls.
Okay, good deal.
After that, we do the warrant if we can't get a hold of them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Not sure if it's currently under. It will be right after this. Yes, it'll
Who,
be
re-
posted.
who reaches out to the media in regards to like the news? Because I've seen other municipalities, you know, yeah.
I called this week several channels. I called 48, Telemundo, and Channel 5.
Okay,
They do advertise for free during their news.
great,
So we just send a notice which dates we're going to be having the amnesty, and they advertise it within the 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock news.
great. Okay, thank you. That's the only question I have for. Any other questions for the directors? Go ahead, sir.
um, the water bill with North Alamo Water Supply, they're not breaking it down as to the the uh, the service fees. I had a resident that apparently received a $250 bill. $99 was for water, and 150 is San Juan City services. How can they find out what those?
I know we have tried to, for them to break it down, but they tell us that their system won't do it, and if they, gonna be a fee to the city to break it down. I don't recall.
Are you all can give them that information?
Uh, Not really, because they're the ones that do the billing, and they have the actual, what do you call it, a statement of what is their bill, what exactly they're billing. But we can still help them. We tried our best to help them in answering their question as much.
Well, I just don't see the 99 for the water service and then 100 and plus for the utility service that belongs to the city when they pay as a whole, they pay the whole amount. So it may be something that we can definitely help them out, or unless they want to reach out to the North Alamo, but we can definitely help them out by them coming over and we can call for them and see if they can give us a breakdown over the phone.
I guess that's where the breakdown occurs because
Right.
they're telling me that they contact North Alamo Water Supply and North Alamo Water Supply tells them, well, that's the city. You need to contact the city.
I guess what we're trying to say is like, if those are late fees, we can call them up and say, this is the reason why there's more than the usual because of the late fees. But most definitely, we can help them out. Just have whoever called to come over to our office and we can call for them. Help them out.
I can follow up again and see what the charge is. I know we have asked that because we do get a lot of customers that come in, they want us to explain. But we can't explain it because we are not the ones that are doing the billing. But we do call them once in a while, or if we refer them to them and they refer back to us, we try to get the same information.
On fees, correct?
Yes.
So where are they getting that number from?
Well, the sewer is based on your water consumption. The garbage was a flat fee. So
We're sending some type of breakdown and a number. to
we don't
make-
send anything. They just bill on a monthly basis.
Okay. I still don't follow how they can get that number and we don't have a breakdown, but yet they're charging for us.
Right. No, we'll do that. We'll follow up with North Alamo, maybe see what the cost would be so that they can segregate the billing. And if it's something that is doable, maybe we can absorb the cost. Okay.
Thank you, guys. The other question, is for Chief Gonzalez. On your report, Chief, you have animals taken and by, I guess for the month of December says no invoice. Does it mean that we didn't transport any animals to to the, where is it, West Dakota?
Yeah, we transported to Wesco. So,
They didn't bill us? Is that
it,
why
it's,
there's no invoice?
Commissioner, it's a recurring, invoice, so it's on a monthly basis. So, that's why, that you see that there, but we are taking, the animals to the Wesco. So I think that, the charge is on a monthly recurring basis, so they invoice us on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand if it was a charge, but I think the number there is of animals that are being transported, no?
Yes, animals taken 64
64, okay,
to the shelter, yes.
for the month of December.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Now, the PSJ agreement is also about to expire. Where are we on that? Have they reached out to you? Are they already said? Are they?
No, they already, mentioned that they are gonna start patrolling their own on, February the 5th. As a matter of fact, I know that we were doing some patrols this morning at Isaguirre and Odines, and, their officers are already patrolling the school districts as well. So they should be, I say in full force probably, February 5th or 6th, as stated. They haven't reached out to us, any other, in any shape or form as to trying to, uh, re-sign the agreement. I think that they're going to go on their own already. They're ready to do that. So they have the units prepared, and the officers are already on the road.
Chief Sogarza. Yes, sir. On your report, as far as the inspections that are denied, what happens in that case? Do they shut them down, or what?
No, sir. No, no. We advise them on what is needed, and we give them a timeline for them to meet the requirements, but we never shut them down. Yeah. You're welcome.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you reach out to the school district, make sure that everything is in full control on that date, so we can make sure that our city responds accordingly?
Yes, I will do it, Mayor Tim. Yes, sir.
Quick question. Chief, real quick, what's the status of the Crime Stoppers of our board and the functioning of it?
The Crime Stopper Board, we have, one of our
Or as
officers.
far as what's been partaking or what we've been doing?
Yes, we have a meeting with them. I know that, they have been busy. I believe that they're busy, attending school, and they have 2 board members or 3 board members, I believe. We have recommended that for us to meet with them, so I can recommend some board members as well. And, our, coordinator, Crime Stoppers coordinator, he's leaving, he's retiring also from the department, going to the school district. So we're gonna be assigning a new Crime Stoppers coordinator. So we should be meeting with them the next couple of weeks, Commissioner, so we can, see what their status is as to, where we're at, and, so we can move forward.
Assign a new coordinator?
Not yet, Commissioner.
Not yet.
No, the one is taking, his duties is, our captain, our Cáceres. He's taking the duties of the coordinator until we reassign an investigator. Yes.
So, how many active board members do we have right now as you speak?
As I was told that we have 2 active board members.
That's it.
Yes, that's correct, Mayor.
So is that even a quorum, or how does this work?
Yes, I believe that they, under bylaws, I believe they need 3 for a quorum. So, and that's my, pressing issues that I've emailed them and talked to them as to, that we need to move forward with the program, and they're willing to do so, and, they are gonna move forward. I think that they just have some, they've been busy, and, we're gonna be meeting the next couple of weeks and, see where we're at and see what the status is, and hopefully we can, get it back on track, and, because we got some pending tips that we have to make sure that get paid.
When was the last time they met, or when was the last time they had a quorum?
Probably in December, if I'm not sure, that last meeting they had. I can get that information for you, Mayor. But I think it was in December or November. They don't meet monthly. They meet as a need to do basis. So basically, we have to do some, payments out to Crime Stoppers, to people that have been calling. Then we request a meeting, and that's exactly what we did. I wanted to make sure that we got some pending tip that we need to make
And
sure
have
that.
those calls, individuals, have them been paid out? Do you know for a fact?
We paid many. We just have one pending that we need to be. Obviously the holidays came through, in December, stuff like that. So we just want to make sure that we pay that tip, and we are. So we're hoping to meet the next 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Chief, thank you so
One
much.
thing I have, Mayor, anything we can assist as far as the city as a whole, let's, reach out to them, and it's a good partnership to have the Crime Stopper. It's a great tool for any city to have a Crime Stopper, so if we have, can reach out for any type of assistance or anything like that, please let us know, or if you can do whatever you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, having it, I mean, a great tool, but at the same time, we need to have a quorum
Right.
in order for it to be active and be productive.
That's correct.
That was the main question, as far as the meetings, have they been transpired, has been anything productive out of them, and, so forth.
Yes.
You can get us that information, right?
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I think that they're not required to meet every. So they
Understood.
require, yeah. But
Thank you,
we
Chief.
are meeting with them to make sure that we get it. We're in the same page here, because we do need the San Juan Crime Stoppers, out there, and the public does request it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for the directors? If not, we'll go ahead and move on. Go ahead, Mr. Colon.
Yes, the next item on the appointments, we have consider appointment and/or removal of board members related to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Before you have the, with you have on your packet, you have the advisory board members and their attendance sheet, and a couple of, maybe one person that showed interest in becoming a member. You can pretty much reappoint them all.
Or we can reappoint the ones that were there, right?
There's two of them that's highlighted,
Okay.
this is just a term.
Okay. Okay, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to go ahead and reappoint Ms. Claudia Alvarado and Mrs. Claudia Alvarado and Mrs. Erica Lopez. That's in a motion. Is there a second? Been second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, sir.
Next
If
item,
I may, Mr. Juan, on your report, your attendance report, Mr. Willingham, there's three different dates of no quorum, and I know the mayor has been very adamant about making sure that we meet, especially these boards, right? And it says no quorum, no quorum, no quorum. If you look, and I don't know if you have access to it or you have it on in front of you, but with Mrs. Singh, on her no quorums, she still specifies on which members were present with no quorum and which ones were absent with no quorum. So if you can do the same, because if we're having the same issue with Parks and Rec with those members that are not showing up, we know who are the ones that aren't showing up, okay? Because it might be more than the one or the two absences that it shows. Let's make sure it reflects accurately. Thank you, sir.
So we're on B, right? Okay.
under B, consider appointment and removal of board members related to the library board.
And same thing, right? These two individuals' terms expire, right?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and just make a motion to reappoint, Mrs. Maria Ayala and Mrs. Maria Navarro. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Go ahead, sir.
Under discussion, we have discussion and possible action to authorize staff to solicit bids for the rehabilitation, replacement of equipment of water treatment plant number 1, and authorize city manager to execute all related documents and budget amendment as needed. Mr. Salinas?
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. If you all recall, back in February 2019, Commission authorized the city manager to enter into agreement with Bettis Consulting, they are present today, to start work on the rehab of water plant number 1, which is a plant right behind City Hall. So the plans are ready to go out for bid, so we can start working on that rehab. So we're here to get authorization to solicit proposals for that. The engineer is here in case you all have questions concerning the project.
Any questions for Mr. Salinas? Okay, go ahead, sir.
The funding for this project?
It's coming out of the surplus funds for the '07 bond.
Yeah.
07 months.
Yes, that's what was authorized back in
I was about to
2019.
say it's been already authorized, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Do you remember the amount of the?
The,
It's around 400.
400,000.
400,000?
It's the estimate for construction. The money for the bonds is right about that time, so we're hoping the cost will be right below that. Mhm.
That being said, is there a motion approved? Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
The Yes, thank you. The next item, discussion and possible action on interdepartmental obligation transfer from utilities fund for the purpose of municipal park fields renovation project. As you may recall, back in December the 10th, we had a special call meeting, and where we talked about the purpose transfer of the $500,000 from the utility fund that will allow the city to start working on the municipal park field renovations. We have reviewed the contract with the attorneys. They're pretty much set already to start working. We are sending that over to the construction people as of today. They already received it. Right, today, so it's just to authorize for the transfer now.
When is the projected date, Mr. Willingham, that this company's,
We were just waiting on a
For this
certificate
approval,
that
or-
was approved.
okay,
The entire project has been approved and covered. We should be starting as soon as we get them back, Mr. Jaime, and projected date is in the next couple of days. They get started? Yes.
okay.
In the next day or two, we should have everything.
And how long would,
Their projected date to completion is April 3rd.
April 3rd?
Yes.
March, so it's right after by April 3rd, we'd already go into the season, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Our goal is to, by mid-season, start playing there.
Playing there?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Jaime or Mr. Willingham? If, or,
Fine, Mr. Salinas? And how, are you okay with 500,000? Yeah, the account? Because we're getting 400,000, you're losing 500,000.
This will
Is that
know,
what it is, a loan?
I mean, as however you wanna approve
Yeah,
it.
we
As
gotta-
a loan or just as a transfer? It's how you wanna.
yeah, just,
But just on a clarification on
All
the
right, we'll just
400,000, it's surplus funds from a bond's money.
Right, right,
It's not coming from the coffers.
right.
with that being said, is there a motion to approve? So move. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Next item, consideration
carries.
approval, the consideration approval to allow city manager to enter into interlocal agreement with the Interlocal Purchasing System Program, TIPS. Mr. Jaime, or the purpose for this is just to have another tool that we can reach out, such as buy board, DIR, and this is a TIPS. I know that we usually go to buy board, getting the pricing from them, but this will give us another tool, another vehicle, so that we can reach out to another agency and say, give me a pricing, we can compare, and maybe we can get a best pricing by having another tool.
You caught me off guard. All right, is there,
We skipped C, we skipped the amnesty?
The amnesty?
that's why I was
That's
kind
what I
of
was like-
confused here.
I'll go back to C.
All right, so we're on D, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Jaime?
One thing for the record, Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
We're on D, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. If not, is there a motion to approve on D? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Going back to C,
All right.
discussion and possible action to start the City of San Juan Municipal Court Amnesty Program on February 2020. As we discussed just a while ago, this is the program that is going to kick off at the February. Once it's approved, it'll go all the way to April 24th. So just for your approval to start with the amnesty program.
Okay. The only thing, Mrs. Enriquez, is that if you can get us the amount that was collected sometime in maybe May or June, I'm curious to see how everything works out on that. Okay? All right. With that being said, any questions? No? Motion approved, so move. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
The other item, consideration approval to change the purchasing procurement threshold from 500 to 2,500 as per the state of Texas procurement and contract management guidelines. Additionally, increase the current capital outlay threshold from 500 to 5,000. Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Here we have two items. One of them is to increase our threshold from the 500 to 2,500, with, just not getting quotes. Doesn't mean we don't have to, but it doesn't require it. And the other one is the threshold of our, right now, our fixed assets are 500, and we've done some comparison with other cities, and their capital outlay threshold is 5,000. So we want to be able to increase those two items.
How's that gonna help you, sir?
Well, on which one? On the capital outlay or?
Both, you're recommending both?
Okay, on the threshold from 500 to 2,500, it helped speed up the process on our procurements. And then the 500 from our capital outlay, there's a lot of small little items that are getting on our fixed assets. We still keep an inventory about like computer, so other stuff.
Yes, the whole thing on this is that to go from 500, that'll expedite the procurement process, like now that you guys approve the TIPS, that'll give us another venue, not only for the buy board, the DIR, but also the TIPS. So instead of going out for bids, we can always pick up the phone and say, give me good pricing, and all of it has to be either DIR, buy board, TIPS, or any other agency that is approved. On the other one, from 500 to 5,000, what it does is it'll help us eliminate a lot of paperwork with the capital outlay or capital assets. So by saying that, a lot of these stuff, we don't have to like bring it before the audits, because it's just a lot of, like, let's say a microphone, it's over 300, it's over 500, so we have to capitalize it. So this will give us a bigger jump instead of computers, $680. Back in the day, we were capitalizing computers because they were a little more expensive. Now they're consumables. Within a year lifespan, they're pretty much obsolete. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to inventory the items. It means that it's not going to be picked up as a capital asset.
You have that threshold, you have that leeway.
They're going to be inventory though. They're not going to be picked up as capital asset.
Any other questions?
I wanted to state something. I believe in the memo that was submitted, they referenced the Texas Procurement and Contract Management Guide, page number 27, in specifically I'm sorry. Well, in regards to that, the section that they were referring to is in regards to state purchases, regards to state agencies. I believe we can raise our quote requirements, but it would be under the Texas Local Government Code, section 252.0215. And I'm not sure if we need to mention that. There, this could actually go up to $3,000, and then after $3,000, we'd have to reach out to hub vendors up to $50,000. And then $50,000, of course, we have to go out for our sealed bids. So the only correction that I say there is we need to reference, I think we need to reference that section. Just for the quotes.
The 2,500.
The memo that was submitted referenced the Texas Procurement and Contract Management Guide, and that section is for the state. And that section that I gave him is for municipalities under the Texas Local Government Code.
Would be this section that needs to be referenced.
So just, that would be how you approve it based on that section.
Good.
The section.
Got that, legal?
Yes.
Yes, okay. You had a motion?
Yes.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Consider the approval of the final work plan for the fiscal year 33, 2020 for the Hidalgo County Urban County Program. There's a big.
Mayor, Commissioners, for this item, you'll see in the packet, for the Urban County Program, it's a final work plan. We did submit the preliminary in October 2019, so this is just the final. It's due February 14th. This is for the fiscal year 33, 2020 funds. The city has $285,782 in funding. The breakdown in the packet would be for general administration, 3,000, street improvements, 268,282, Amigos del Valle, 7,500, Nuestra Clínica del Valle, 5,000, and then Casa of Hidalgo, 2,000. So this is just a breakdown of those funds. And the streets that we chose were Loma Alta, Loma Azul, Loma Bonita for this project. Is there any questions on that?
On these streets, Mr. Escobar, it's basically just same thing how we've been doing the street projects, like just doing the overlays and stuff like that?
Well, they actually go to the subgrade, but
Yeah.
yeah, they'll completely redo the street. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only question I have for you, sir. Any other questions for Mr. Escobar? If not, is there a motion approved? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Under resolutions, we have considered adoption of resolution establishing the budget for fiscal year 33 again. Sorry. B, consider adoption of resolution of a grant application with the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for Regional Solid Waste Grant Program.
So this is just a resolution that shows the actual breakdown of the budget, and that's something that's required to Urban County, so we submit that as well.
Any questions? So is there a motion? There's so moved by who? Second? By Ramirez? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the consent agenda, we have item A, B, C, D, and E. Notice that you can take any item out. Would like to further discuss it or just vote as a whole?
Which one?
Consent agenda?
No, what about
We have item
B?
We have item B.
The one that I read was item B. So that was for the solid waste. Let me go back, I'm sorry. Consider adoption of the resolution, that was the one that Mr. Escobar just described, and the B will be consider adoption resolution of a grant application with the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for the Regional Solid Waste Grant Program.
Mayor Commissioners, this resolution will allow us to submit an application to the Grand Valley Council, so we can be in the running for two $25,000 grants that they'll be awarding.
So how much was that amount?
It was two $25,000 grants that they'll be awarding.
50,000.
Yes.
Right. It's an opportunity for two of those, so we're applying for both of those.
Any questions for Mr. Garza? If not,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Now, on the consent agenda, we have item A, B, C, D, and E. Notice you can take any of those to discuss further or vote them as a whole.
At this time, is there anything we need to modify or amend under consent agenda? Modify or amend under consent agenda. If not, is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under executive session, we have San Juan City Commission will convene executive session according with Texas Open Meetings Act, Vernon, Texas statutes, and Code Sanitary Government Code Chapter 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. Tonight we have three items, 1, 2, and 3. We got 1, 2, and 3. We're going to executive session.
At 7:15 PM. Is there a motion to reconvene?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Under executive session, under 1, this time I'll go ahead and make a motion for city manager to proceed as directed to purchase. That's in a motion. Is there a
So moved.
second? There's been a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under executive session 2, I'll go ahead and make a motion to have the city attorney as directed. With that being said, is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And under executive session 3, make a motion to have city attorney proceed as directive. That's in a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 7:16 PM. Thank you.